tell them suckers to move. I ain't in the mood. Got me with the crew, let me do what I do. I tell them suckers to poof. Got me in the booth, lobby in the truth. Let me do what I do. Yeah, remember when the U come through, enter the music jungle. Or back with the block, I used to rock, I used to fumble. I still rock down, drop the ball where I want to. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Manny.
My name's Alberto.
And this is the OnlyFights Podcast.
Episode 28.
Yeah.
Getting up there.
What's going on, bro?
Not much, man. How was your weekend?
It was pretty good. It was alright. It wasn't my best weekend, but yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of slow.
Mm-hmm.
Snowy.
Yeah, snow really screwed me, with the whole daughter situation, in terms of driving, so
yeah.
I wasn't happy about that, but that's all good. Did you catch the Eagle FC card? I think it was on Friday, right?
Yeah, Friday. I didn't watch it, but I watched the press conference before.
Yeah.
And I did go back and look at the highlights and stuff. I was interested in it. It was the first time they had it in the US.
Nice.
It was in Miami. So, they had a lot of other fighters there promoting and stuff, all Khabib's friends and shit.
Cool.
So yeah, it was a couple UFC names in it. I was kind of surprised. I saw Rashad Evans was on the card. Ray Borg was on the card. He's a former flyweight in the UFC. So I think this is like the fifth event that Khabib does.
Right.
The other ones have all been in Russia, and apparently he already paid $1 million for this organization that was started in his hometown in Dagestan.
Wow.
So I guess $1 million is probably a lot more for them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like whatever their money is, the transfer is probably, because $1 million doesn't sound like that much for a fighting organization.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he's put a lot of money into it. Like I said, I watched the day before. They had like a whole promotion thing for it, and they did like a panel where it was Khabib, it was Kamaru Usman, the welterweight champ, it was Henry Cejudo, and Chael Sonnen, which are all pretty big names right now in the MMA world. So it was pretty dope to watch them all sit down and talk about the fights. Obviously Khabib's putting a lot of money into it. Mm-hmm. And he's taking it pretty serious. I wasn't sure how serious. I don't know. I don't know if this was maybe just like a business endeavor or something. But it seems like he's really pushing this .
So was he fighting when he bought it?
No, I think he just bought it right after he retired. I think.
Right. So he probably obviously had it in mind.
Yeah.
While he was fighting, and that's probably what aided the retirement. So.
Yeah, and it's from his hometown, so I'm sure he probably knows those people somehow.
Yeah, let me bless these people with this money, and then I can take what they started, and make it a whole lot. Yeah, so I thought that's dope.
So yeah, like I said, they had a couple UFC names in there. So the first one I recognized was on the undercard, Jorgen de Castro. He's a heavyweight that he fought pretty recently in the UFC. I think he got knocked out by Rosenstrike. Then he got knocked out by him, and then lost another fight, and then he got dropped from the UFC. So he actually got a submission win last night. He took on Sean Asher. Never heard of that guy, but he got the submission win. The whole production looked really good too. When they did that sit down talk, they were inside of the cage that they were gonna fight in, and it looked really nice. It looked top of the line. It didn't look it didn't look like it was any less than any other of the promotions going on. And then, like I said, Ray Borg was on the card. He took on Cody Gibson. Never heard of him either. But Ray Borg got a decision win over him. He went up in weight. I guess he went to bantamweight because he was always a flyweight in the UFC. And then the co-main was Rashad Evans. He took on Gabriel Checo. Never heard of that guy, but, Rashad Evans was able to pull off a decision win. I think he's coming off of five losses before that.
How old is he?
42.
Wow.
He's 42 years old. He hasn't fought since 2018. That was his last UFC fight.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I thought that he went to Bellator after UFC, but I guess he didn't. His last fight was in the UFC. I think it was against Anthony Smith or something. And yeah, obviously Rashad Evans is UFC Hall of Famer. This guy's he fought everybody in that division, the light heavyweight division. He was a champ at one point, and I think John Jones is the one that took it from him. And then he had it pretty much since then. Yeah, so I don't know. I was super surprised to see Rashad Evans on there. I'm sure it feels for him. It feels good for him to get a win after all those losses. Like he hasn't had a win. I should have checked it when it was his last win, but like I said, his last fight was 2018, and he's coming off 5 losses before that. He probably hasn't won a fight in a really long time. So I wonder if he comes back and does another one. I don't think there's any champions yet in that organization. I think they're kind of doing like a Grand Prix thing for it.
Yeah.
And then the main event was Sergey Karitonov versus Tyrone Spong. These guys weren't in the UFC, but they're both like people who know MMA. Like they probably know these guys. They both were in like Pride, both fought in Glory.
Yeah.
Like these guys have been around for a long time. And I think Sergey got the knockout. I think he got the second round knockout. So he got that win. Overall, I mean, like I said, I didn't watch it, but I was kind of mad. I did download the app because it's free.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see what the app's called real quick. It's like FLX Cast.
So real quick, while you're looking for that, the last win from Rashad Evans was against Chael Sonnen by TKO back on my birthday of November 16th, 2013 at UFC 167.
So that's almost 10 years.
Yeah.
That's like 9 years, right?
Yeah, that would have been my 23rd birthday.
Damn, that was his last win.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure this was a great moment for him. Yeah, that's super dope. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check more of these out. Like I said, it seems like they're putting a lot of money into it, and this one was in Miami, Florida, and they had a lot of big name guys there.
Yeah, I was looking for it, but I was just a little late by the time I would have downloaded the app and everything. And
you do have to like make an account and everything. That's what sucks.
That would have pissed me off.
And now that I think back on it, I think I looked at it and I downloaded it and I was like, fuck, I don't want to make an account, and I just forgot about it. But yeah.
No, I'm gonna make one though. So
yeah, I'm definitely gonna do it. Definitely want to watch that, especially if he keeps getting more names. Every time a UFC fighter retires or is having any kind of issues now, Khabib is like playing that guy now. They're like the recruiter of saying, "Hey, come to Eagle FC." Jorge Masvidal also started his own fight league. I don't know if you've seen that. It's not as like high production, but he also has his own thing. I think it's called like Gamebred FC or Gamebred something.
Is it like street fighting?
No, but I think they're going for more that vibe. Like it doesn't look as professional as like
underground.
It looks a little more like fucking garage, like fucking back doors or backyard type shit. But that's kind of his whole brand. Like I'm sure that's gonna work for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was Friday night. And then Saturday night, we did have some Bellator as well. I didn't really watch it, and I'm kind of glad because I heard that both the fights were kind of boring. But the co-main, we had another UFC veteran, Benson Henderson, took on Islam Mamedov, and Benson Henderson got his win by decision. He's also coming off like 3 losses. He's been in Bellator for a while now.
Yeah.
I think he left the UFC in 2016. Yeah, 2016 he left the UFC and went to Bellator. And that guy too, man, he was like one of the best lightweights, of his era, probably the best lightweight. Like he fought everybody as well.
Yeah.
Like all those names, all the big names back then, he fought everybody. So yeah, it's cool to see him get another win. He's 38 years old. Wondering what he's gonna do. And then we had yet another UFC veteran, Ryan Bader, taking. I'm pretty sure he's a champ, and he was taking on the interim champ, Valentine Moldavsky. And Ryan Bader got the win by decision. I heard it was kind of a boring fight. Ryan Bader, I think he's still actually I don't know how it works in Bellator because they do like that Grand Prix thing every year.
Yeah.
So does the champ hold on to the belt?
I have no idea.
Because I know his last fight at light heavyweight, because he was double champ at light heavyweight and heavyweight, and then I know his last fight he lost to Corey Anderson at light heavyweight during the Grand Prix. Mm-hmm. So I wonder how that works. If they carry the belt over, or what? I don't know.
Yeah.
But he lost in the Grand Prix, so I don't think he's a light heavyweight champ anymore. But he retains the heavyweight title. Ryan Bader, also pretty much the same as Benson Henderson. He's 38 years old, and he left the UFC in 2016. That guy too fought a lot of people.
Yeah, he's one of the best.
Yeah, light heavyweight. I think he fought DC. He fought a lot of guys. But yeah, that was the Bellator card. Wasn't super exciting, but gotta cover it.
And that's all good. Yeah, we had some boxing. We had Don King had a card. I don't really want to go through the whole thing. I didn't really watch the whole thing. I started watching some of the co-main. It was I forget the guy's name, but he's like a WBA heavyweight champion, like a regular champion. Not the belt that Usyk got, obviously, but he had a pretty good win in the co-main. I forgot his name, but regardless, I watched the event just to see Mikabu, who is a potential opponent for Canelo Alvarez, if he decides to move up to cruiserweight. And he fought somebody who he beat already, Thabiso Mchunu. I'm sorry if I'm getting that name wrong, but it was hard to say a lot of the names on this card. It was 2 South African fighters, and they held the event in the best place that you could, have it for 2 South African fighters, which is Warren, Ohio. I don't know. Yeah, that was weird, man.
Yeah, that's really weird.
But anyways, it was a really boring fight, man. If I'm being honest, I was looking for the power. I was looking to see, because Mikabu knocked this guy out before.
Yeah.
He was getting outboxed. I didn't watch the fight, but the story is he was getting outboxed, and he was losing the fight on the cards, and but secured the knockout, and that's how he won. And a couple years later, they rematch. So, again, lackluster fight. I thought Mchunu was doing better work, and I was also watching it on my phone, so the quality wasn't, up to par.
Yeah.
Because I was also watching the top rank card, the prelims and all that. But Makabu got the victory. It was a split decision. It was not impressive at all to me. He got hit with some shots, took it well, but I think Canelo could really piece this guy up and maybe not knock him out. Going up to such a heavier weight class,
Yeah.
but I think Canelo would make pretty much easy work. I don't see this guy being able to land on Canelo flush and hurting him. I don't think his stock really went up after this fight.
So you think this hurts the chances of that fight happening?
I think it probably does. I think it hurts the people wanting to see it. I don't think it's as big of a fight anymore.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this guy doesn't really have a very big name at all, so I'm sure they were kind of hoping for maybe a big knockout to.
Exactly, yeah, because especially because he knocked the guy out before.
Yeah.
But some of the rumors that I've been hearing is that Canelo he's looking to this is his plan. I don't know if Canelo said it or Eddie Reynosos, but it was reported on ESPN that Canelo's talking Jamal Charlo next. And then after that, he'll fight at 175 Dimitri Bivol. Mm-hmm. And then I guess he'll go back down to 168 and give Triple G that trilogy. And I got to say, that's a pretty solid plan.
Yeah.
I would very much enjoy all 3 of those fights. I've been pretty adamant about not wanting to see a third fight with Triple G, but I wouldn't mind it if Canelo does what he did with certainly Triple G is one of my favorite fighters. The last thing I'll do is disrespect him, but kind of like how he did against Yildirim, kind of just squeezed him in there.
Yeah.
In between 2 main fights. The reason I say that is more so just Triple G's getting older. He's gotten much older since the last fight, and Canelo's gotten a lot better, and I just don't see how this wouldn't end up really bad for Triple G.
Yeah, I think it would make more sense for him to almost do the Triple G fight first. Maybe do that one first.
Well, Triple G has to fight the Japanese guy, Murata.
Yeah.
Ryo Murata, something like that.
But, if we could, in a perfect world, I think that would be the best.
Right.
Have him fight Triple G first.
I wanted the trilogy. I've always said I wanted the trilogy.
Right away.
Back to back to back.
Yeah.
I wanted it right away.
That would have been crazy.
It would have been.
It didn't even happen back to back, or did it?
The first one, nah, because remember Canelo had that drug test thing with the
Yep.
clenbuterol, and then I forget who Triple G had to fight.
Yeah.
But obviously it was like a second round knockout. Yeah, but great fights, man. And you know what? I thought that Wilder fighting Fury for the third time would have been kind of a waste.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of the result, you could say that it was, but like, you know, Wilder he dropped Fury twice, and
Yep.
he looked pretty good in those opening, you know, those first couple rounds. So, well, you know, besides getting dropped, I think in like the third or something, but yeah, so who knows, man? Who knows? And hey, man, Triple G, he's been in the ring with this guy for 24 rounds.
Yep.
So this will be round 25.
But I think this is also a very different Canelo.
Right. And that's why I'm concerned for Triple G. But the last thing to go, they say the last thing to go always is your power.
Yeah.
And Triple G, he's always going to pack that power. So, you know, there's always going to be that remote chance of like, you know, he hurt him before.
Catching him, yeah.
You know what I mean? I remember in that second fight, he caught him good. Really hurt Canelo. So, you know, we'll see what's up, man. But again, huge Triple G fan and huge Canelo fan. So, I guess I wouldn't mind it if they you know ran it back. And
Yeah.
Again, especially as long as Canelo's fighting these other guys as well.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And in terms of fighting, even actually, I'm gonna go back on that with Canelo fighting Triple G first. I think he should fight some of these bigger names. You know.
Yeah.
Or these bigger names, these other names that these people have wanted to see him fight, because he's just been fighting big names, unlike some of the people that we want to see him fight.
Yeah, for real.
But yeah, so again, Makabu gets a split decision victory over Mchunu, and again, you know, he was saying in the post fight interview with Ray Boom Boom Mancini was doing the broadcasting and all that,
Yeah.
the commentating. And so he was talking to him and said that he wants to take on Canelo. He said he's gonna knock him out, and we'll see. We'll see if the fight even gets made.
Word.
But I think I'm a little more excited about this little plan here because, I don't know, man. I didn't see what I wanted to see from Makabu.
Yeah.
You know, so. But anyways, so Top Rank had a card as well, which I almost forgot about, man. Like, kind of snuck up on me.
Yeah.
Boxing's been doing that lately, man. They just been sneaking up, you know, with some pretty, you know.
But I do
cool
think
cards.
I think ESPN does a pretty good job at promoting them online and stuff. Like,
oh yeah.
Like the day of, I was seeing a bunch of shit, like all the fighters coming out and stuff.
Yeah. Their social media, they do a great job.
Yeah.
Especially with the weigh-ins, and they had the chicks, Pink Tyson.
Yep, I saw all the
Carla
names. and
Torres.
shit.
They, you know, almost fighting at the face-off, and
Oh yeah, that was them. Okay, yeah, I did
Yeah.
see that too. The
Yeah.
two girls were facing off, and then one pushed each other,
yeah.
and one girl's like, "What do you want?"
I was with my daughter on Saturday on that night, and I'm thinking like, you know, Pink Tyson's the favorite. She's undefeated. She got all these knockouts on the record,
Yeah.
and this other girl, she's 6-6 with 0 knockouts. And I'm like, all right, I'm pretty sure this girl's Puerto Rican chick. I'm pretty sure she's just here to lose, probably get knocked out. So I said to my daughter, I said, Evie, why don't you pick who you think is gonna win? And I'm thinking, you know, my daughter, she's a pretty girly girl.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking she's gonna pick the blonde chick with the pink outfit.
Yeah.
And I said, and she picked the chick in the black. She's like, I'm like, you gonna pick her? I'm like, all right, I got the girl in the pink. And man, Pink Tyson, she was so slow, bro.
That's funny.
She was throwing these winging shots slow as shit and just getting caught with 2 pieces, 3 pieces. And man, she was getting pieced up. I'm looking at my daughter like, yo, I think you got this, yo. She's getting all excited. I think I finally got her into boxing, bro. Mission accomplished.
That's funny.
So, shout out to Carla Torres. She got the victory.
By decision.
By decision. There was still that animosity after the fight. She wasn't even having the showing love and all that.
But who, on both parts or?
The chick that lost, Pink Tyson. Yeah. I'm going all over the place here with it, but F it. Nico Ali Wash.
Yep.
Got a nice stoppage. It was the second round, something like that.
Yeah.
And Yeah, really made up for his last performance, where a lot of people thought that, he got lucky. I don't know. It was a 4-round fight.
Yeah.
But
really quick turnaround too, though, right? Like.
Oh yeah, I mean they're only getting a couple rounds in at a time. So
I feel like this is the third time he fights in like a couple months or something. Like.
Yeah. Oh, that's usually how it is in the beginning. That's why when you look at their records and you look at they fight, who are you knocking out?
So that's how they get so many fights, and they're not that old yet. They're
exactly,
like still young.
Yeah. You know, your first 3 years of being a pro, you might secure 20 fights.
Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah.
I think Tyson had 20 fights in 1 year.
Yeah, because I feel like since we started this podcast, I don't know how long it's been yet, but I feel like he's fought at least like 4 times already. Like, it's crazy.
I think so. 4. I think that was his 4th fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Improving 4-0 with 3 knockouts. I guess.
He did a little Ali shuffle. Did you see it?
Yeah. I peeped that. Yeah, I didn't watch it live because I thought it started at 10. They told me it started at 10. That shit started at like freaking 6.
Oh shit.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't watch it, but like I said, I saw all the highlights and stuff on the Instagram.
It was a good performance for Robson Conceição. Like if you remember, he's coming off that loss to Oscar Valdez that a lot of people, controversial loss. A lot of people thought that he should have won the fight, especially a lot of stain on Oscar Valdez because he had just failed the drug test right before that.
Right.
But still keeps his title and gets the fight. And yeah, that wasn't a good look for the WBC, but so nonetheless, Valdez did get the victory and secure his title. But the WBC was kind enough to give Conceição this title eliminator. Was it the WBC? Yeah. So I guess so he takes on Xavier Martinez, undefeated. I think he was like 17-0. Out of Sacramento, California. It's a 10-round fight. It's kind of weird because it's a title eliminator, so I don't know why it wasn't 12, but 10-round fight. And though Martinez had his moments from time to time, really hurting Conceição at the end of the 3rd round. I think he lost every round, and man. So Conceição just cruises his way to a dominant decision victory, and I guess that means we're gonna see him face the winner between Valdez and Shakur Stevenson. Who I got that beautiful reminder last night when I was watching the fight that Oscar Valdez is going to be taking on Shakur Stevenson.
When is that?
Same night that Katie Taylor is going to be taking on Amanda Serrano, April 30th.
Nice.
And they're saying a week before that, Tyson Fury is going to be taking on Dillian White because Top Rank Bob Arum bidded for $41 million.
So that's for the total purse, right?
Yeah.
And then
so it's a 80-20 split.
So Tyson Fury's gonna get 80.
Yeah. Because Dillian White, remember, he was suing the not the WBC, I think Top Rank or whatever he was doing. He wanted $10 million, and he said he wanted to start negotiations at $10 million actually.
Yeah.
Which means he wanted to negotiate for even more than that. But yeah, they did the math. I forget exactly what it was, but he's gonna get a good like $8 million.
Who?
Dillian White.
Oh yeah.
To get in the ring with Tyson Fury and get his ass whipped. Tyson Fury's gonna get that other $33 million.
Yeah.
$33 million, bro. He's gonna get $33 million to go in there against a fucking punching bag, bro. That's crazy. I hope wild. He trains though, because like Tyson Fury didn't look his best against Wilder 3.
But what's crazier is that I think Dillian White is gonna get $8 million, right? Like that seems like, I mean, not compared to what Tyson's getting, but that seems so much for somebody that doesn't have like a very big name.
Well, he's big out in UK, and that's where they're gonna have the fight.
UK?
Yeah. They're all out from out there. All those heavyweights: Joe Joyce, Daniel Dubois.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but AJ obviously Usyk is from Ukraine and shit, but yeah, man. So the heavyweight title hasn't been in America all that long. Like we had Wilder.
Well, that's why Wilder has so much like hype and
love
around him because he was American, yeah.
Yeah, but obviously Klitschko had it for like forever. It seems like forever. I was a little kid. You know what I mean? And then grown ass man, and I'm watching this guy named Tyson Fury fight him and beat him and stayed out there. Stayed out in the other side of the world, and then eventually I see this guy Deontay Wilder, with no hair, with like a little buzz cut. and he's just knocking guys out. He got no form. He got no technique. He's just swinging like a windmill.
He's just throwing his fists at people.
But it's working.
Yeah.
And he's knocking guys out. And then they put him up against some, ranked guys. Not the highest guys, but knocking them out. Knocking out Chris Arreola and Gerald Washington, a younger Gerald Washington. Knocking out, I was about to say Tito Ortiz. Luis Ortiz twice, And then giving Tyson Fury all he can handle.
What would you say is his biggest knockout? The Luis Ortiz one?
He was about to say it too. Yeah, I think so. The Spilka one was nice. I mean, Spilka isn't the best fighter, but
yeah,
that was a good one. And then just the fact that like who else is gonna get, who's gonna beat Tyson Fury? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who's gonna get close? I mean, Wilder was pretty damn close in that first fight. He pretty much almost did it. He knocked him down. And Fury was down for almost a full 10-second count. He literally got up in the nick of time. And some people argue that the fight should have been stopped. I don't know why, because Fury did a lot better at the end. But anyways, so again, Conceição victorious against Xavier Martinez. That should secure him another title shot. He said he wants Oscar Valdez regardless, because he doesn't think that Valdez is going to beat Shakur Stevenson. I concur.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a fight for Shakur. I think Shakur is gonna go all the way, man. I don't really see somebody beating him until he moves up and, really puts himself in deep waters against somebody with size and the skill. Because right now he got the skill, man, and it's hard to see somebody taking that from him.
Yeah.
But I was looking at the like the scheduling and basically like the boxing news section on the ESPN and a couple other websites, and I'm pretty impressed, man. We got some stuff coming up, man. Like, I mean, I aired out a lot of the stuff already, but what Canelo's talking about doing, that'll make for a great year for him in that division and a couple divisions if he's looking to jump up from super middleweight to light heavyweight to cruiserweight to the heavyweight to fight Tyson Fury and fucking that guy's crazy, man. The Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor, that's huge, man.
I'm glad that fight got made.
Yeah.
And it's gonna headline a card, right?
Yep, I believe so. Dillian White, Tyson Fury, we just went over that. Next week we have the return of Keith One Time Thurman.
Nice.
Taking on and the return of Mario Barrios. Great fighter, man. He gave Gervonta Davis all he can handle.
Yeah.
I think he was winning. In the cards, and then he got stopped. Everybody gets stopped by Tank.
Yeah.
But Santa Cruz is gonna be on that card as well. I forget who he fights, but it's a pretty good card. And I think it's a double pay-per-view. I forget what the earlier card is, but I know Showtime did this before with the Charlo brothers. They had basically each Charlo had their own card.
Mm-hmm.
One during the day and one at night, and you just paid the one pay-per-view price, and you was able to watch the whole thing with a nice little 2-hour intermission in between. I think that's what they're gonna do with this one.
Mm-hmm.
So, but earlier that day, that they're also gonna have the Chris Eubanks taking on Liam Williams on the Zone, and I believe in the undercard of that will be the Clarissa Shields versus Emma Kozin fight.
Nice.
So very excited to see Clarissa Shields back in the ring. And a week after that'll be on the Zone, and also on the Zone you'll have the return of the Miracle Man, Danny Jacobs taking on John Ryder in the UK.
Nice.
So yeah, man. Danny Jacobs.
I feel like it's been a while since he fought, right?
Yeah, he fought. I think his last fight was against Gabe Rosado, who's had 2 fights since then.
Yeah.
I don't think Danny Jacobs had a fight since that, and that was a very lackluster performance. And I actually thought he lost that fight. He won. That was when the when the announcer screwed up because they said because Gabe's from Philly and Danny's from Brooklyn, and so when they announced it was a split decision. So one judge gave it to Danny, one judge gave it to Gabe, and then they said, and your winner from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So that's Gabe, and they were like, from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Daniel, the Miracle Man, Jacobs. And I'm just like, wait, what?
Yeah, that's funny.
And it was just the most, it was like when Steve Harvey screwed up in that supermodel pageant.
Yeah.
He's like, I have to apologize. Got to take them flowers from you. Yeah, that was funny. But he takes on John Ryder, man. If you don't know who John Ryder is, he's a great fighter in the middleweight division, a super middleweight division. He gave Callum Smith all he could handle. A lot of people, including myself, thought he got robbed against Callum Smith. So, good fighter. And, I'm looking forward to that fight as well. A week after that, we have the fight that boxing fans have been clamoring for in 2014. Amir Khan versus Kell Brook. They're finally going at it. Was it like 2014? It might have been a little later.
Damn, Amir Khan's still fighting?
Yeah, he's coming back these were like at one point two top like British stars in boxing. Kell Brook was the man. He beat Sean Porter. And Amir Khan beat Marcos Maidana. I think he knocked him out. And I believe it was Danny Garcia who knocked out Amir Khan, and basically like he was never the same after that.
Yeah.
He caught him with the no. He closes his eye, the no look left hook. Danny Garcia has these. He kind of closes his eyes and just, goes for it. And that's Garcia got that power, man. He knocked him out. I was back in that was like 2014, man. It was like a long time ago, 2015. I don't know, something like that.
I was gonna say, I remember hearing his name like a long time ago.
Yeah. But a championship fight on the undercards with Natasha Jones versus Iwa Pukawaska, the vacant WBO middleweight championship in the women's boxing. And then a week after that, we have two cards. You have one on Showtime with Chris Colbert taking on Roger Gutierrez for his WBA junior lightweight title. That's 130 pounds. I think you have Gary Antoine Russell Jr. on the undercard. Francis Bartholomew, I believe, is on the undercard. A couple other guys. And on that same day, I'm guessing earlier that day, on ESPN Plus, the return of Josh Taylor, defending his undisputed championship at 140 against Jack Catterall. So, yeah, man. And like I said, you got some future events that's gonna make this so far this is gonna be a great year for boxing. Yeah. For both sports possibly. I'm sure UFC is gonna have some bangers. I know we have the Izzy card coming up soon, right? What
Yeah.
Do we have anything next week?
Yeah, next week is we got a fight night. Jack Hermanson and Sean Strickland.
Nice.
Yeah, that should be a good fight for a fight night. And then the following week, so 2 weeks from now, is the Israel Adesanya and Robert Whittaker rematch. I don't know why they haven't updated this, but we have these two fights on here. Derek Lewis, Tai Tuivasa should be a fun fight, and Jared Cannonier versus Derek Brunson.
So they did update it. They just don't have it at the top.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't have them at the top, because this one says co-main, but yeah, because I was gonna say that would suck if they fucking make an Izzy sell this card on his own, because Robert Whittaker isn't the biggest draw.
I almost forgot about that Derek Lewis and Tuivasa fight, man. Yeah. That's gonna be a banger.
Fuck yeah, and it makes sense. I think Tai Tuivasa is also from Australia or New Zealand. I don't forget which one. He's from one of those islands or one of those countries. So yeah, that should be fun. And then a bunch of fight nights after that, man. The Rafael Dos Anjos and Rafael Fasi fight, and on the 19th, February 19th, that's a fight night. And then the February 28th, the big lightweight fight, Benil Dariush and Islam Makhachev. And then what's 272? Oh, yeah, that's right, 272. Masvidal and Kobe Covington are gonna headline that one. So that should be a good fight. Adding on to UFC 274 on May 7th is gonna be Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje for the lightweight belt. That should be a really good fight, man.
Hell yeah.
I can see that fight going either way. I think Oliveira probably, obviously, I think I got to give him the slight advantage just with the submissions, man, because most submissions in the game, and he's done it to almost everybody.
Facts.
So that's going to be I'm guessing that would be the main event, and then the co-main would be Glover Teixeira versus Yuri Prochaska. And that's the one that they're rumored that it might be in Brazil. And they didn't say that yet.
Man,
but
they won't give Teixeira his own they won't let him headline.
Yeah, I doubt he could do it.
As a champ.
I doubt he could do it.
Ah, well.
But it's crazy, right? Because they're giving Masvidal his own card. I mean, I guess it has to be in the numbers. He has to have proven that he can.
Oh yeah,
he can do it.
Masvidal, ever since that knockout with the guy.
Yeah, but also the pay-per-view numbers, because I was looking at the list of the top 10 UFC pay-per-views ever, and Masvidal versus Usman, the first one, is on there, in the top 10. It's low. It's like maybe 8 or 9 or something, but that still has to be a lot to be up there. Almost all those fights are all Conor McGregor fights, except for I think a couple Brock Lesnar fights. Remember, Brock Lesnar also brought a lot of fucking.
Oh yeah, he had that WWE fame.
Yeah, he brought a lot of people over. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy how, even Stipe, I think Stipe was getting $1 million at least for his fights when he was a champ.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that they can't give that they didn't give Francis that, they gave Francis 600,000. That shit still just blows my mind. And I was waiting all week to see what the fuck was gonna happen, what was gonna come out. And it just still is unbelievable. Dana White still hasn't really said anything about it.
Yeah, and not to cut you off, but just to go back to what I said earlier, Tyson Fury's getting, what did I say, $32 million?
Yeah.
To fight Dillian White.
But I said, that's why I said Dillian White getting $8 million and Francis can't get $1 million.
That's
Francis is the fucking heavyweight champion of the world now. He's beat Stipe, arguably the greatest. When people say the greatest heavyweight, defended against one of the most well-rounded heavyweights we've ever seen. He knocked out Kane. I mean, this was Kane coming back when he was all fucked up. He beat Dos Santos. He beat so many big names in the heavyweight division. I don't know what the pay-per-view numbers are. I guess maybe that's the issue, but man, that's just crazy that they won't pay this guy. And it seems like it's just coming down to ego, at the end of the day. It makes absolutely no sense. And so I found out that apparently Francis is managed by, so apparently most of UFC fighters are all, they all have different managers and shit, but all the managers work for the same agency apparently.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess Francis is one of the few fighters, probably the only big name fighter, that he is managed by this totally other company or something, and apparently it's the rival company for the other one, the one that most of the fighters are on.
Wow.
And I think that's the issue. It's because also I remember Dana saying before, I never thought anything of it, when they asked him something about Francis, and his answer was, yeah, I think he's being mismanaged. I think his representation is, he picked the wrong guy to be represented by or whatever. And that was an answer to a question and it didn't seem like it made sense, but now it kind of makes sense.
Right.
That has to be it. Then it has to be that Dana just doesn't want to play ball with these guys.
Yeah, that sounds like, I mean, that's an obvious conflict of interest right there.
Exactly. So, yeah, I don't know, man. It just seems so. I just hate now that it seems like all this shit I hated about boxing, some of the political stuff, is now we're seeing it in UFC, and it's fucking, oh my god, I'm can't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, it's only a matter of time, especially when it's no secret that the whole UFC was kind of built off with the WWE model.
Yeah.
And that obviously is a very dramatic television program in a way.
Yeah.
But hey, man, this is how you especially in today's day and age, this is how you get topics flowing, or you kind of have to play this game, this game of almost like social media. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't help that you have guys like Jake Paul doing what he's doing.
Just throwing gas on the fire.
He's attacking Bob Arum.
Yeah.
He's been attacking Bob Arum almost the same way. He's been attacking Bob Arum the same way he's been attacking Dana White, with how Bob Arum treats his female fighters, because you know he got Amanda Serrano on his on his team or whatever. I don't know. And he's been very open about this fight with Katie Taylor, and and again, this is one of those things where it's like y'all are making me take his side because he's trying to stand up for women's boxing, and Bob Arum is being that has that old mindset where it's like, well, people don't pay attention to women's boxing. Yeah, and then they have been true for a large part, but the game can change.
Yeah, and the way that they promote doesn't help.
And to just stick to this idea of like, well, that's not what people want, We'll make it so that people want it.
I would love to see boxing be like how the UFC is, where it's like mixed, like female and male on the cards, and have some females headline cards. Like
I would love it to they do like that all the time. You know what I'm saying? But
like on a bigger scale.
The thing is, the one good thing about this is like we get better female fights. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like we've gotten, Clarissa Shields. You know what I'm saying? She's fought in a lot of the top names to get those titles and be undisputed. Yeah. And Amanda Serrano as well. Katie Taylor, you know what I'm saying? Like now we're just getting those fights. Yeah. And with as long as Savannah Marshall was supposed to be on that card with Clarissa Shields. I don't know what's going on. I guess they can't find her an opponent. But I'm sure that once Clarissa Shields, if she wins this fight, they're gonna put them together again. Katie Taylor versus Serrano, that's happening. Yeah. And a lot more things happen in women's boxing. You know what I'm saying? If you pay attention to it. It is a lot harder because people don't put it out there as much. And I think that's kind of the beef right there. Like, we got this big historic women's fight coming up. Let's promote it the same way we would promote a Fury Wilder fight, a Canelo Triple G fight. You know what I'm saying? Some of these other big fights that has happened. A Spence and a Crawford fight if that was to happen. You know what I'm saying? Which I don't see why that wouldn't happen. But yeah, I don't know. Kind of just went on a little tangent there. Yeah. But
So going back to the Francis thing. So supposedly he had the championship clause or whatever in the contract, right? So supposedly that from what I understand that expires after a year. So he's still under UFC contract until January of 2023. And from what I've seen, him talk about in recent interviews, he's saying they're not even close, like number-wise, like negotiation-wise. And it seemed like, he didn't say it, but just like from the look on his face, it really seemed like it's not gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like they asked him about the John Jones fight, and he's like, I'm not even thinking about that fight. He's like, that fight is like the last thing I'm thinking about. You know what I mean? He's like, we are not even close, like, of coming to an agreement or whatever. And that's just so sad, man. That shit just made me so depressed, like, seeing that shit.
The crazy thing is, like, I don't know. Yeah, man, that's bad for Dana, bro, because, like, I think that's going to hurt him. Bro, for sure. I said this. I forget which episode, man. It was one of the earlier episodes that we did. But I said that. Because it was around the time when John Jones was going through a whole bunch of crazy mess, like that last time he was in Vegas and did some crazy shit. I forget. We didn't really touch too much on it because we didn't want to. Yeah. But I remember saying something about, because I said like if something could rival UFC, the same way these boxing promotions rival each other, if something could rival UFC, and I said in some crazy way, and I think I brought up the John Jones situation, and I said if the UFC were to release John Jones, and then something happened with Francis Ngannou, and he leaves UFC maybe over money or something like that, I think I said that, and I said, and then like Francis Ngannou and John Jones can get picked up by like Bellator, and we'll see them fight there, and then that would make Bellator a lot bigger, and or it doesn't have to be Bellator. I always just go, that's my go-to other MMA spot. I haven't been seeing much from PFL, so but any of those leagues, you know what I'm saying? And like it's crazy because now it's looking like, well, if Ngannou isn't going to be in the UFC anymore, I know he wants to box, but I really don't want to see that. Yeah. I like what I've been seeing with him in the MMA in the cage.
Yeah, getting better.
And
like
as long as he can get compensated properly, then hoping another league can do that. If not the UFC. But like I said, man, like if some crazy shit happens where he does get And also like John Jones, maybe like if he doesn't, maybe if he wants more money and he's like, let me take that route. I saw Francis Ngannou got this much money from Bellator or something, and then he goes over there.
Yeah,
I'm gonna celebrate because I called that.
It's crazy, like, and it's almost like Dana White is forcing it to happen, right? Because I'm sure his thinking is, I don't want to pay this guy because I pay him, then everybody's gonna come and I'm gonna have to pay everybody.
I was gonna say that the precedence of it, yeah.
But then on the other side, it's like, all right, so you don't pay him, and Francis walks away, and maybe he gets more money somewhere else. Well, then I think other big name fighters would do that, and then you're kind of forcing that to happen. You're kind of forcing the other promotions to get bigger and shit.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. I just can't believe that. Like, I would think that Francis is a bigger draw than Stipe.
I keep going back to like my wrestling analogies, man. I was a huge wrestling fan back in the day. I think a lot of us were. But this happened like with that's how that happened with like the WWF. When it was WWF and they had all these superstars and they built them up in the 80s, like the Hulk Hogan and all that stuff, or Macho Man and Ultimate Warrior, and then the WBC. I was about to say WBC. WCW would start to rival the WWF by basically poaching their stars. And and once they secured Hollywood Hulk Hogan, well, he wasn't Hollywood at the time, but once they secured Hulk Hogan, and then they had the NWO, and then they really started to take over.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of that was because Vince McMahon, who in this case would be Dana White, wasn't paying his fighters. In this case would be the wrestlers.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. That's gonna be some funny shit.
It's
I remember like on Monday nights, having to switch back and forth from Raw and WCW Nitro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of what this is feeling like. If it goes to that length, especially like you said, like I don't know, man. It's a double-edged sword. I think Dana just has to see which one's the least sharp. It
would just be wild to see. Obviously the first time's ever happened, a champion have to walk away, and not like before, like maybe even last week or a couple weeks before, I never would have thought that would even happen. But like after seeing Francis talk about it and like the way he's talking about it, like the look on his face, like yeah, I think he's definitely walking away.
So he's not the champion though, right? Didn't he get stripped?
Not yet. They're saying that's what will happen. But he's because either way he can't fight for a while because he revealed that he had the torn ACL or something, and then MCL as well. ACL and MCL, I guess. So he's going to have like a major knee surgery that is going to require like 6 to 9 months of recovery. He hasn't even scheduled. He said he doesn't have it scheduled yet. So I think it's at least a year. Like he's not going to fight probably for at least a year. And
he's
and
gonna recover from that quick.
And that's how long he probably will. And that's how long he got on the contract. Pretty much he has a year that the UFC still owns his rights. And then after that he can walk away, I guess. And I think it's going to happen. And then we'll have a vacant heavyweight title. John Jones wants to fight. I think John Jones and Stipe would probably be the fight to make.
Stipe, you don't think it would be like Cyril Gane, basically just?
I think Cyril Gane will have to, unless like Cyril Gane fights Stipe or something.
Right, maybe.
But I think John. Well, I mean, I don't know. John's been doing a lot of fucking tweeting. I just hope. He said he's gonna fight. He said he wanted the winner. So I hope he fights soon. I hope he fights in a couple months or something. Like I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, he has to come back. It's been a while.
And yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I think Stipe is kind of an easy fight for John, honestly, but we won't know until we see it.
Yeah.
But that's just really depressing about the whole Francis thing, him leaving and shit.
Yeah, man. I hope it all works out for him.
I think he said like what he would like to do, like ideally, is like re-sign with the UFC for money he wants, and he wants to do. Like I think I said before, he wants to do a boxing deal, but he wants the UFC to be involved. It's not like he's like saying, "Oh, I don't want nothing to do with the UFC." Like he wants to do business with them.
Yeah.
They just don't want to pay him. But he said that that's in a perfect world. That's how he would have it. That he could fight, renew his MMA contract with UFC, and then also do a deal with ESPN and UFC where he could have a boxing fight, and UFC be involved like Conor, like UFC was involved with the Conor fight.
Nice.
So yeah, I don't know, man. It's crazy.
I hope it works out. Even if it doesn't work out like that, you know what I'm saying? Because that might not be the best option for him, but, yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't know. We'll see what Dana... And Dana avoiding media seems kind of fucking...
Yeah, that's trash, man.
It's fucking stupid.
I don't like that.
Also announced was... They said Amanda Nunes and Juliana Pena is possibly going to be the next coaches for
the
second Ultimate Fighter season. Well, the second one since they came back.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, that'd be pretty dope. That'd be pretty dope if they do that. That'd be a nice little build up to that fight again.
Yeah.
And yeah, pretty much all I got, MMA wise.
Cool. Yeah, yo, real quick. I mean, we're gonna go off in a super tangent here, but so the rumor is Tom Brady's retiring.
Oh yeah. Well, everybody and their mother announced it yesterday.
Yeah.
Except him.
Except him.
That's what was kind of pissing me off. I was like, I'm not gonna believe it until I see the press conference with him saying I'm retiring from football. Because all these publications are making that off with like the same source. There was one source that said, "Oh, Tom Brady's supposed to retire."
I think it was Adam Schefter reported it,
and then everybody said it. "Oh, he retired. It's over. This and that." There's even celebrities like congratulating him and shit already. I'm like, dude, let the guy fucking retire. Like, you're gonna fuck around and make him like the type of competitor he is. He's gonna be like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm gonna play one more year.
Yeah, maybe that's what he needs. Maybe he wanted to kind of spark that little.
Spark the fire, yeah.
Spark the fire, and get the outrage, because, yeah, man. But I just think it's crazy, because, like, I always tell people, and obviously he was reigning with the Patriots even before, but, like, I'm an Eagles fan, so the first time I watched them play in the Super Bowl was against the Patriots. Was against Tom Brady and Bill Belichick and the Patriots. And a completely different team. It was like, if you remember, Adam Vinatieri, I think, was their kicker. I remember he was like one of the best in that era.
Mm-hmm.
They had what was that linebacker? Teddy Bruschi. They had Ty Law. Good group of guys.
Their defense was stacked.
It was crazy. It was crazy. And that's when the Eagles had like Donovan McNabb and Terrell Owens and Brian Westbrook. And I was like 14 years old, and I was upset. I saw my team lose the Super Bowl to this guy Tom Brady, and then I saw my team beat Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. And we're the same age. How old were we? Like 27, 26?
Yeah, something like that.
Bro, like 12 years later, completely different Eagles team. No Andy Reid, no McNabb, none of those guys. Completely different team. And who are we playing? Literally like almost the same team. Not the same team. The Patriots are a completely different team as well. They got a whole new bunch of guys as well. But they still have Tom Brady and Belichick, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy. Brady was like on 2 or 3 different generations of Patriots teams. Like.
Easy. And I mean, even just his career. He started... He came in 99, and it is 2022.
Yeah.
And that guy has been in 10 Super Bowls, was it? Yo, I mean, he didn't win them all, but some people don't even make it to one Super Bowl. Like some, you know what I mean? Like some people, they never. I think who are some of the guys? Phillip Rivers, right? Some of those guys. I think Dan Marino played in the Super Bowl but didn't win it. Bro, even making it to the Super Bowl, that's an accomplishment, because you have to win the AFC. He had to win the AFC Championship.
Hell yeah.
So, man, playing in 10 Super Bowls, winning a majority of them. What was it? 7, right?
Yep.
Yeah, man.
I think the big one last year where he moved the teams and everything, like.
Exactly, man. I think if he does retire, if he doesn't, hey, I'm gonna keep watching. But I'm just gonna say, man, even though I wasn't a fan of, I mean, he beat my team in the Super Bowl, so I was a victim. Even though we got that get back, and my team will, if he does retire, my team will always be the last team that beat him in the Super Bowl.
And only one of 2 teams that beat him, right?
Yeah, freaking, we share with the Giants.
Isn't that crazy? Like, that's wild.
Eli Manning and Nick Foles.
Jesus Christ, that's fucking wild.
That's awesome. But nah, man, I'm happy to say, like, I got to witness almost his entire career.
Yeah.
Like, and when you think about it like that, when you think about like me being a 14-year-old kid, however old you was when you were, actually, in 2001 I was like 12. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
the same age.
Crazy, man. Crazy.
Yeah, for sure. Cause we definitely, like, if you compare it to like Michael Jordan, like we got to experience Tom Brady more than we did like Michael Jordan. Like,
yeah, we were little kids.
Yeah,
I only really got to watch highlights.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I know, super off topic, but I just wanted to throw that out there, man. Shout out to Tom Brady.
Yeah, man.
Greatest of all time.
Word.
In the football field, American football. But yeah, man. So we'll be back next week with another episode.
Word.
Thanks for tuning into this one. Once again, my name is Manny.
My name's Alberto.
This is the OnlyFights Podcast, and we out.
Peace.
Peace.